whaia ki te uru tapu nui a tāne te waiora, tāne te pukenga, tāne te wānanga. Tāne te wakaputa nei ki te whaia o ki te ao mārama, tū tingana, tū kamaranga, te tū i te rarama. Tēnei au, e noho matāra nei, e rongo whakairi ake ki runga kia tīna.
Tina.
Ui e, tai ki e. Kua tīpare te maunga ki te rau kawa, he tohu aroha nui ki te iwi kua ngaro. Waihora, he rangi kia tāria ake, ka tai mai he karere e kore hoki mai. Apiti hono, tātai roa, ko te kāhui wairua ki rātou. Apiti hono tātai poto, te kāhui kiko ki tātou, ti e kūre perepe, ti e kūra parapa, ati e mauri ora. Nau mai, rarau mai, e aku iti aku nui ki tēnei hōtaka e kia ngenei ko ka PAO. Ai, ka PAO ki wi, ka PAO ki wā. Hoi anō ko tō tātou kaupapa i te rangi nei, ka aro atu ki te āhuatanga o te kai whakaari kai waiata. Hoi anō ke mohi ai koutou he hōtaka reo rua tēnei. Nō reira, ka tahuri atu ki te reo parawa, ke mohi oi tata katoa he aha te kaupapa. Nō reira, hi everybody, welcome to Kapa. Tonight we're going to be focusing on our beautiful Tira Wilson. She's my friend, guys. She's my friend. No, I'm actually quite smitten when it comes to Tira. For those of you that know, Kapa is focused on artists, not only songwriters, not only Māori artists, but more in regards to how does one be one with the music. Yeah? And that can like be in different shades and colors. It's a massive rainbow e hoama. There's genres within genres. There's performers that create for other performers. There's no, it's all unconditional. So who else to have on Kapal tonight other than Tira Wilson? So Tira, can you tell everybody ko wai koe, nohi a koe?
Kia ora, ko Tira Wilson taku ingoa. He uri noa au ki a Mangere. And I'm just quite chuffed to be on the show with my girl here. So yeah, it's different. Usually just talking on the phone usually, but this is live. At least I still get to see her. I'm a little bit red in the face.
So every now and then you might see that Tira is not just a local performer. She's known all over the show. And I know this because I feel like I'm one of her groupies. But today, I really wanted to explore what that looks like. What does it look like to be a performer, to be out there and in front of thousands of people, on and off, going in and out of Taramaki and doing your thing. So, but first and foremost, the first question, where did it all start?
Well, I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 1981. So there was always the guitar parties and stuff. So both my parents were amazing musos. I grew up with them both jamming the guitars, always music in the house. And I think just from a real young age, my mum and dad could both see that, you know, I had that little spark in me. It might not have been the best singer, but I had that spark, that music spark that they both shared as well. So growing up with mum and dad, their music styles were very different. Mum more the Motown kind of scene, dad more like Engelbert than that. But so I had the best of both worlds, and was just really lucky to have like real patient mum when it came to music. So always jamming on the guitar and always singing, and getting me to sing with her, but not doing the high harmony, low harmony. And from there, I kind of developed a really good ear for harmonies. So something that I now pass on to my own children. But yeah, that's basically kind of where it started from. It's just always guitars in the house, always music, always warming, and that's something that I've held on for, coming up 40 years of my life. So yeah, it's that's kind of where it started from. definitely parents' influence and growing up in a really cool era in the 80s where, you know, the 70s music was only like a few years out. So all that cool disco music I grew up with, and the cool disco music through the 80s, and then a teenager in the 90s. And I've kind of been, you know, I've had a good array of music in my life. So something that's stuck with me from birth to now. So yeah, that's my little music background there. So
I love that. I never get sick of hearing it, but it's good that everybody else gets to hear it, you know. Sometimes I shall not hog you to myself, but so I really wanted to focus on, you know, everybody has that first moment where, you know, like music was like their thing. For me, it was when with my mum singing "I Will Always Love You" from Whitney. You know, everybody has that, like that heart song. What was the song or the artist or the moment that you can think of right now that did it for you?
Definitely with mum. Probably singing. So we're big fans of the Stylistics. So I think when mum would pull out the guitar, there was a song called Rock and Roll Baby. And I think when she pulled that out, started jamming away, singing it, and then I think I put some harmonies into it. That was definitely the moment that I thought, yeah, this is gonna be the rest of my life is music. So yeah, that was it. I think it might have been like maybe 7 or 8. I think it's a long time ago.
And so, like, so you were talking from stylistics and like having that connection and knowing that those songs. Did it end up like branching out to other genres and artists
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah. So I grew up kind of when mum was really into that disco era, but when I hit the 90s, there was kind of a little bit mixed pot with music. So that kind of it's quite different. But I got into a lot of grunge and rock in the 90s, like Nirvana and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I kind of always I'm quite eclectic. I've always liked different types of music, and there's not one style of music you can say to me that I would hate, because I love it all. You know, even heavy metal, classical, every kind of music. Just if it's got a beautiful melody. For me, it's bass too. When I hear a song, a lot of people hear the voice first, they hear the guitar first, they hear the drums first. I hear bass, so I've always heard that. I always heard the bass note. So and it's that's quite appealing to me. I love the song if the bass is even better. So yeah, it's just yeah, I like the fact that there's so many genres there. And it's kind of reflected on my children as well. My children just don't like one type of music. They love different types. So I'll be always playing a mix in the car, and the kids are, you know, they'll be singing Queen, and then they'll be singing Mariah Carey, and then Whitney Houston, and then some classical songs, and you know, it's all over across the border. So you know, and I'm quite thankful that that I like that kind of music, all type of music. So then now that my children, not just one dimensional when it comes to like one genre kind of children, they love across the board. So yeah, that's a good thing that that I feel like I've passed on to them. So
and it's good to get a kind of a landscape of the beginning of an artist, like knowing where they came from musically. So from there, you're looking at how you started to develop, right? When did you realize that performing was something that you were, you know, like, oh wow, this is intriguing? I really like this feeling, standing up and singing. Where did that come from for you? Like, where did it begin?
Definitely real early. Definitely real early. Not only was I mum and dad playing the guitars, I was always dancing around, dancing as well. So even with my grandfather, Paddy Crean, he would play the harmonica and I would dance around his knee as a little kid. So the fact that I've always wanted to perform has come at a young age. But I think the thing that kind of, for anyone that's kind of into music, that's hasn't really learnt an instrument, and the instrument is their voice, it's karaoke. So that's where I went. That was the direction I kind of headed into, and oh man, I loved it. You know, it was amazing. Getting out there singing at all the karaoke bars, and that was a love of mine. Being able to sing, because I was able to sometimes connect with the crowd, singing a ballad that, and somebody would come up and say, oh, that reminds me of so and so and so and so, or just going out into the crowd while I'm singing and pulling someone up and dancing with them. That to me, like, that was so the starting was definitely when I was younger, always singing and dancing, but wasn't until I kind of got into around 18, 19 that when I started to do the karaoke scene, that's it was that was it for me. I was like, I'm hooked. This is what I want to do. I want to sing, and yeah, that's kind of helped pave the way to where myself and my babies are now. So that's the fun stuff.
It's it's good to hear. So every person experience is different to the other. But a lot of people will be listening to this and go, oh my gosh, that's what I used to do with my koro, or wow, like karaoke. I felt like that when I started doing karaoke. Now, what about Te Ao Māori? So, like, as a performer and being a Māori performer at that, what does that look like when it comes to audience, or when it comes to learning waiata, or whether it was doing Kapa Haka? So as a performer, how did that make you feel? That's the first question.
I think for me, like, I was in Kapa Haka when I was going to high school, even intermediate and primary school as well. And that was the platform when it came to performance, like performing up on stage with other people was always a beautiful feeling. And Te Ao Māori, it's, whenever it's something to do with Māori, it's something you hold quite deep down inside. So when you're standing there with so many people singing and you hear 6 to 8 different harmonies, not just 3 harmonies, you become, you're in awe, especially the fact that for me, when it comes to for music, I love listening to different harmonies, and that's, Kapa Haka gave me that, I guess, that platform to be able to perform confidently, to be able to hear other people singing and be able to put these little funny half notes and left, right, and centre, and performing with other people who, because that, when I was younger, if I was with family, I was absolutely fine, but anyone else, how I am right now, was quite terrified. So having people there that were confident was great for me, for my self-esteem as well. Seeing somebody else standing beside me, singing confidently with their head up, and I would see that, and something that I would take on, but as going through the years. So definitely Kapa Haka was definitely my my push, my it was basically paved the whole way for for my performing as soon as I got into karaoke. Without it, I would not have the confidence. Probably would still struggle with listening to harmonies, and the friendships that you form while you're in there as well. So, yeah, Kapa Haka, and now too with being a kohanga teacher, music is a massive part of my role in the kohanga as well. So, having our babies sing, because I used to play the guitar, having our babies sing, be so confident, sound so sweet. It's, for me, it's uplifting for me, because it's something that I can help with our babies. My little gift that I can offer, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. It's cool having other people, other staff members who are amazing singers, incorporating that and making our children more confident in singing in Te Reo Māori. So, yeah, Kapa Haka definitely helped pave the way.
I think our kohanga, it's kohanga reo Waitara, are very fortunate to not only have one singer, but thousands of singers. It's a good. I think there's about 5 of you, isn't there? There's 5 of you. No, yeah, 5 singers. Yeah, that's beautiful. Our babies are spoiled with talent. So I really want to. What was that? Sorry.
Oh, they're very talented too, our babies. Yes, absolutely talented.
Every puanga, you see them taking over the show. They jump on stage. All of our babies do.
Oh,
they just mount hearts.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I really wanted to thank you for that, by the way, my friend. I really wanted to focus on a particular, let's just say, niche. Our beautiful babies. I'm really starstruck when it comes to the mean jelly beans. And for those of you that know who I'm talking about, I'm actually talking about Tira's babies, and they're literally blown up the internet last year with lockdown, and prior to lockdown they were putting out heaps of beautiful songs with their mum. But I think we've all got these questions and we all want to ask them and get answers, but I'm gonna ask the first one. How do you teach your babies to sit and sing nicely without fidgeting? And you know what I mean?
Practice and a lot of I think, I don't know, they're at an age now where they're not, they're not little babies anymore, and they actually love the music. Quite often they have chosen their own songs. During last year's lockdown, I'd have a look on YouTube, see if there's anything you like that's a little bit old school. I wanted the old school. They never actually says, can we sing anything new? But I think for them, there's other kids, there's platforms, Instagram, TikTok, where children, teenagers sing current songs, either with an instrument or with backing tracks, and they are amazing. I think for my babies, their difference was that their songs were old school, from the 60s all the way through to the 90s, and they chose their songs, and I would not make them learn anything longer than really around about an hour, because after that you've kind of lost your children's attention spans. They're not long, so they would learn maybe a verse and a chorus of a song, and then that was it. That's what we would sing, and it started off real, we'd have to do a couple of takes, and then it ended up where they'll these kids. It's just naturals, and it would only take 1 or 2 takes, and they'd nail it. But it wasn't a lot of convincing them to sit there down and sing as well. So they were really they really loved the music. Quite often I'd let them know these are the comments, and the comments were always beautiful, positive, and I could see a lot of the comments were from people who were the kids didn't know that I didn't know, that were struggling during lockdown, separated from their families, and the comments were, I've been separated from my son for nearly three or 4 weeks, and the music is uplifting, and it brings a bit of peace in my life. And I think when that started happening, those comments started coming in. It was not just getting the kids off the devices anymore. It was the kids are bringing a bit of comfort to people all through New Zealand, and to me that was beautiful. So just getting them there, just practicing their song for an hour, sitting down, recording it with just my little normal phone, and seeing how much the beautiful responses they got back from people. That was kind of more than enough for me and my kids anyway. The comments were just always beautiful and loving. So I didn't really need to sit there and give them the like, you better sit down. They were really just good. They're now 14, 12 and 10. So it was only last year we were doing those videos, and this year as well. So they're not little babies. They don't sit there and twiddle their thumbs and stuff. They just sit there, sing their song, and then free time for them. And that's what I really appreciate about my babies, is that they really they really love singing. It was second nature to them. It became second nature, because I didn't realize that I knew they could sing, but I didn't realize that they could sing together. And it wasn't till I think 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half into last year's lockdown, they started singing in the kitchen while doing the dishes. And I was like, who's that? Who's that? I walked in and they were singing all perfect 3-part harmony. So it gave me a fright. And I says, look, let's try and do something instead of just sitting on your devices. Like, let's do something during this lockdown. And it kind of went from there. Man, I couldn't be any more proud of them. They are absolutely amazing. I'm very proud of my babies.
Yeah, no, I feel like we are all proud of you and your babies for helping. And it did. I loved waiting for that new update every day. We needed that
every day. Like, what is it this time? What is it?
Yeah. And so my next question is, how did you navigate through all of the requests last year? There was so many requests. I know I had 10.
That was tough. Yeah, that was really tough, because there were songs that the kids and I had never heard of before. And we'd sit there and have a listen. Some of the songs that they requested, because I only had an hour every day to learn a song, it was kind of hard for us to learn a song that had just a lead note in it, and people would say, look, could you just put some harmonies to it? The kids have got great ears, so they'd listen to a song and go, Sam will go, yep, I've got my lead. And Marnie will go, yep, I've got my high. Connor, I've got my low. When there were songs that were like that but didn't have harmonies in it, the kids kind of struggled a little bit. So it would mean that they'd only learn a chorus, just the chorus to that song, but they've had to try and figure out how to do some harmonies during that chorus. And we tried to get as many of the requests as possible, but having those requests coming in was really cool, because we initially started off as doing Earth, Wind and Fire, all that kind of stuff that's got some great harmony harmony backgrounds. So, or in the Bee Gees and all that kind of stuff. And then when people started requesting, they were changing it up. So there was a bit of Billy Joel, and I'm like, oh, that's right, Billy Joel, amazing singer, great harmonies, you know, Elton John, and then into Queen. And so it opened up the kids' repertoire. But, you know, and I play, this is Queen. The kids are like, but whoa, this is amazing. They're awesome. And I'm like, yes, they love Queen because Mummy loves Queen as well. And then the styles with a little bit of reggae, and you know, and so that's how that kind of their repertoire kind of grew when it came to singing different types of songs to suit everybody who was requesting and who was watching. So that was definitely something that a cool little achievement that the kids had made when it came to the music. So you know, you'd have people who would only listen to a bit of soft rock. So I says to the kids, let's learn some soft rock, let's learn some Rod Stewart, let's learn some ELO, let's learn some CCR, you know. And then there were others that were like, just disco, let's just do disco. So that was the Earth, Wind and Fire, the Shaka Khans, and all that kind of different stuff. And then a bit of reggae. And it was really cool to see so many requests come in, and we're pretty much able to do majority of them, not all of them, but majority of them. And that was, it was good to, you know. And the kids would never go, I don't like it, I don't like the song. They would always go, okay, so how are we going to do this? How are we going to sing this? You know, and trying to swap out the notes as well, because as we got through the days, maybe day 20 up to 30, Sammy started developing an ear for the harmonies. So they would start swapping, and quite funny, would do while we're doing it live, Marnie and Sam would swap their notes out, and she'd start doing lead and he'd start doing a high harmony. That always kind of surprised me, but that was really cool that they could do something like that. So yeah, just it was awesome to get so much feedback and so many different requests for the kids to, you know, give it a go. And some worked, some didn't, but you know, they always gave it a go. That, you know, the kids really tried. So yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed all those requests coming in.
So I know that a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, these kids are like, I need to go and watch it again. Please go and follow them, watch them. Have a look on the Mean Jelly Beans page. They've got their own page, but their mum has got a page as well. But anyways, we'll post those on this link. However, the next question I think is quite comfortable. I feel that this is a good one. So we have all of these amazing local artists. Majority of us are in this little community, right? So where do you feel we are at the moment? Are we, because of COVID, you know what I mean? Where do you see things at the moment?
Yeah, because of COVID, it's kind of been things have been put on hold a little bit. You know, the band before COVID, there were so many bands in New Plymouth around, you know, every place, every venue you'd go to, there was always a band, and really good bands too. Now, you know, I don't see it as much now, and they're still there, they're still jamming, and there's I know during the lockdown probably some more bands would have formed during that time, but I think we're in for a surprise. I think once it's going to happen once this goes away, and everything goes back to normal. I think we're going to be surprised with all these young bands coming through. Ones that have been jamming at home. It's my mum. The ones that have been jamming at home and jamming online. I really think that there's, because there's so many talented people here, and even just in Waitara, the talent is unbelievable. Like the singers, the guitar players, drummers, they're everywhere, and the young ones kind of coming through. And that for me, that's the same with me. I want my babies to be able to learn an instrument as well. So, years from now, I would hope that they that they too will have something to fall back on, an instrument. So I reckon we are in for a big surprise when COVID pushes over. There's going to be, so I don't know if it's just bands, but soloists, singers left, right and centre, even now going out now and again to karaoke, seeing amazing singers, these young singers coming through. Yeah, mummy. My mum just dropped off my son. He's just come back from golf. Yeah, I think I think we're going to be awesome. There's going to be so much talent coming through.
Absolutely. And like a lot of the singers that have been, or singer and songwriters that have been coming through here, we've been talking about, platforms, a place where we can come together and listen to each other and actually dive into, not just Waiata Māori and composing songs, whether they're Māori or English, but there are so many elements when it comes to music, when it comes to talent. A lot of people think that it's just all in one package and then you just pick it up and then walk away with it.
Yeah, it's not like that.
No. So the final question is, where to from now? So yeah, what's going to happen with you and the mean jelly beans?
Well, I'm hoping that they just want to carry on and keep singing, and it's been a year since they started doing those videos, and they've done a few videos this year as well. They are growing up, and my daughter's 14. She's a teenager now. She still sings around the house and stuff, but I think being locked up with mummy last year's lockdown, she basically had nothing really else to do, nothing to do. So the music was kind of like a thing to do while in the house. I'm hoping that they want to carry on, but for me, I think getting them into instruments, learning how to play instruments is quite important. They're at a young age. I'd like for them to have something for them to have when they're older. My baby's expressed interest in piano, so he's doing piano lessons at the moment. My middle boy Connor, he's starting high school next year, and he's kind of put his hand up that there's classes there that teach different instruments and vocals and stuff, and he's interested in learning how to play the guitar, and hopefully my daughter violin, but it would not be pushed on them. I would like them to have something for when they're older, and I know if I had that as well. I think my mum offered it many times, but I was just a normal teenager, didn't want to. Nothing. She even offered to get me braces, and I said no. Big mistake. I stuffed up big time there. But I just want to offer them something so that they can say, if Sam starts getting into classical, and when he's in his 20s, and say like, Mum, thanks, Mum, for getting me into piano, because now I've got there's opportunities there. Like, he might be working, but might join a band and be the keys player, and I want them to have something like that to fall back onto. So that's definitely for them. Mama, I'd love to start singing again. That passion's there since last year. Things have, there's been big changes and stuff since last year. And you know, mum is living a little bit more instead of just existing. Mum is living a bit more. So I'd love to sing with a band and get back into the music that way. And I'd love for my babies to do the same as well and get them into something quite similar for their age. That's age appropriate. So yeah, definitely want to get back into music, go head on into music again, because we've kind of lost it maybe the last couple of months or since the middle of last year. And yeah, music's always going to be a massive part of my life and a massive part of my children's life. Even my eldest son, he loves his music as well. Just, you know, that's one thing I'm quite thankful that I have passed on to the babies, is that they love their music. So yeah, there's dreams there. There's some dreams there, and I'm, you know, never too old. You know, I'm 40 this year, so 40 next month actually. And, you know, I've still got heaps of dreams and heaps of life to live. And yeah, so hopefully, yeah, it's just, it's going to go like this. It's going to go up. And their love for music is, they start feeling it the way I do. I know during lockdown they did. So yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you to give any advice to those who are watching this, those who are listening to this, those who are wanting to perform, might be shy, might be, you know, dealing with fears as a performer, as we all do. So have you got any advice to share with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go for your dreams. Don't wait. Don't put it off as you get older, because you will regret it. I regret a lot when it came to like the opportunities, musical opportunities I had when I was younger. I think for me, I wasn't, my confidence wasn't there. My confidence didn't really kick until my mid-30s, surprisingly enough. I think about 33 is when I started going professional. And that's a long time to wait. So just really, you don't want to miss out. There's so many opportunities out there. And learning an instrument, absolutely, give that a go as well. One thing I regret is not learning an instrument. I can play guitar for kohanga kids. Of course I can, but I'm not amazing. But I wish I had I've picked up something when I was younger. Just go for it. You know, since last year till now, my whole outlook when it comes to music and life in general is so different to how it used to be. I have a TikTok account, you know, that's what teenagers have, but I have a TikTok account. I dance like no one's watching. I sing. I really live and breathe music. I live and breathe my babies. And that's something that you should not let slip through your fingers. If you're so passionate about music and you love it that much, don't start later on in life. Grab the opportunities that are presented to you and run with them. Like, don't stop. And for those who I know or don't know, I'm here. If you know, I'm online. I'm on Facebook. Just give me a buzz. I can always for any if you have any questions or anything, like I'm so there to help. So don't start late. Just do it now while you're young, and then carry on all the way through, because you'll regret it. So yeah, live your music, live through your music. Yeah.
I recommend everybody to ask Tira, because she will have not only the best advice, but a perspective that you wouldn't even think of. I tend to run to her often, but at the same time, being your friend and in everything so far in the music industry. Honestly, I feel like, you know, she's my sister, my musical sister, my muse.
Absolutely.
If you don't understand what a muse is, guys, read it up.
So, I'm thinking that
yeah,
way.
it's weird, eh? So yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up with some lovings. And I want to thank you, my friend, for sharing with everybody your experiences as a performer. You definitely, to us in the music industry here, local in Taranaki, you're definitely our version of Aretha Franklin. We go to you, we steal you, we love you, we admire you, we treasure you, all of these things. And I'm not even kidding, Wano. I'm not even kidding. We do that. We have a good community. We're brothers and sisters in arms.
Absolutely.
But definitely, yeah. Thank you so much for today, for tonight, sorry. And yeah, I'm wishing all the best for our babies and for yourself. And we're looking forward to the future. We're definitely looking forward to the future.
Absolutely. Love you.
Love you too. Nō reira, e te iwi, me wakatepe ki teta I karakia, kia pai te haere, kia tuku te aroha pai, kia wakahoki te aroha hoki, nō reira, me penei ne. Unu ia te uru tapanui, kia wātea, kia māma, te ngākau, te tinana, te wairoi, te aratakatū. Ko ia rā e rongo wakairia ki runga kia wātea, aira ko wātea au. Pai marire.